All right, let's get right into it. Look, something fundamental has just changed inside the Pi network. We've seen a massive shift, a move from it being a long-term experiment into what you can really only call its real phase. We're going to break down exactly what that means.
And that leads us to the big question, right? Why did these latest updates from the core team completely change the rules of the game? What actually happened that took this whole project from one stage to a completely different one?
You know, for the longest time, a lot of people saw Pi Network as this project that was just, well, in a waiting pattern. It was often called an experiment, but what we just saw was a leap from that maybe someday phase into actual, real execution.
And let's be totally frank about this. What just happened wasn't some minor software patch or a small news update. It was a foundational change. It's kind of like a company that's been in R&D for years, suddenly announcing they're shipping their first product. The entire game just changed.
Now this slide just nails the shift in mindset. For years, the conversation was stuck on this one skeptical question. Yeah, but what can we even use this stuff for? That question? It's gone. It's obsolete. The new question is all about action. Who is actually going to use it and who's going to be left on the sidelines?
So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this game-changing update. Because this was the moment. This was when all the promises, all the talk, finally became real, tangible execution.
So what did the core team actually release? 3 really critical things. First up, an official software library, basically a toolbox of pre-built code for developers. Second, a whole suite of development tools, so builders aren't guessing anymore. And the big one, direct Pi payment integration, allowing pretty much any app to connect to the Pi blockchain and handle transactions.
And this right here is the real-world result of all that. It's simple. Starting right now, any developer, whether they're making an app, a game, an online store, they now have the official tools to plug Pi in as a real payment method.
And I really have to stress this point. This isn't a promise on a future roadmap. This isn't a coming soon. It's live today. The barrier to entry for creating a business that runs on Pi was just poof, almost completely removed, practically overnight.
But you know, if you look beyond the technology, there's this really powerful unspoken message here. We have to look at what the core team's actions are telling us, not just what their announcements say.
The core team didn't need to put out a big, flashy press release that said, "Hey world, we are ready." They didn't have to. Their actions screamed it for them. By shipping these tools, they basically planted a flag and said, the foundation is solid, start building.
And here's why that's so important. Think about it. A serious, rational team does not, I repeat, does not open up a live payment system for anyone in the world to use unless they have massive confidence. They have to be confident legally, they have to be confident technically, and they have to be confident about the future. This release is basically a giant vote of confidence in their own project.
Okay, so what does all this mean for everybody involved? Well, it changes the role for everyone in the ecosystem. The passive era, the time for just sitting back and waiting, that's officially over.
I mean, for developers, the world has completely flipped. Before, their job was to debate, to discuss theories, maybe be a little skeptical. Now, their role is to build, to actually create real applications, real tools, and real services that use Pi. The ones who start now are going to be way ahead of the curve.
And it's the exact same story for the average user, for you. Your role has changed too. It's not just about hitting the mine button, holding onto your coins, and waiting for something to happen anymore. The role now is to be an active user, to use Pi, to spend it, to experience the ecosystem that's being built.
And that switch from being a passive holder to an active user, that's everything. Because that is the one and only thing that creates real, lasting value for any currency on the planet, whether it's digital or not. A currency is only worth something because of the economy that uses it.
So you're probably thinking, this all sounds great, this is all positive, so why would an update like this actually make some people a little nervous or anxious? And that's a fair question.
The answer is actually pretty simple. It's because this update slams the door shut on a very comfortable excuse a lot of people were hiding behind. That little voice that says, don't worry about it, it's still early. Well, that excuse is gone. The time for just watching from the sidelines is over.
And that brings us to the final and I think most important part of all this. The real question that everyone should be asking themselves has changed. This is not about some speculative price anymore. It's about real, tangible opportunity.
So let's just recap the state of Pi today.
right now. It is no longer just an idea. It is not just a dream, and it is definitely not an experiment anymore. It's moved way past all of that.
What is happening as we speak is that a real economy is being built by developers and early adopters. Real-world usage is starting to happen. And that means the ground floor opportunities are being created right now, not tomorrow, not next month, today.
So you see, for years, pretty much everyone has been asking the wrong question. What's the price of pi? That's a passive question. It's a spectator's question. The right question, the active question, is the one over on the right. What will you do as a builder, a user, a business owner, before the price is a known thing?
And that's the question I want to leave you with. The foundation has been laid, the tools are out there, the game has fundamentally changed. The only variable left is what people like you are going to build and do with this opportunity. So what will you do?